Hi, this is Sive Morten with the daily update on EuroFX. I post my exclusive market overviews with the key political and economical events, charts and important levels on the ForexPeaceArmy.com forums weekly. This short video is a response to rapidly changing situation on the currency markets and should help you to stay on top of the game and be profitable. I suggest you to visit ForexPeaceArmy.com forum and read my analysis for the week before watching this daily video.
Welcome back everybody, let's take a look again on the cryptocurrencies. First of all, in the beginning of the video I would like to announce our new fundamental report in June. So we understand that big reports, it's difficult to read, so we have contracted amounts of the information, bring the most important one and put the fundamental background that we see currently. So in general, opinions of the statistics of the market sentiment analysis from the Glassnode, from the Arcane research, shows that in general our long-term target that we discussed on the Bitcoin market, although we're using from the technical side, so if we take a look at the weekly chart, our target stands at 12 even, approximately 12.23. It also has some support. This opinion with the reaching of this target has some support using analysis of the other analysis agencies, as I said, in Glassnode, Arcane. So this is first moment. Second, in general, performance of the Bitcoin market haven't surprised us in May, as actually guys, even in December we said and really have big doubts on the suggestion that Bitcoin is some kind of the tricky and cool asset that will be easily contradict to the performance of the hiking rate against the Fed, and it will be just the safe haven for the all investors that provides great potential and great protection from any negative factors. As you can see, in reality everything has happened absolutely in a different manner, and market has lost approximately 60% of its capitalization. We think that this is not the end yet, and market still has room to drop. This is first moment. Second moment, there's a lot of talking about market is finding the bottom. Market is finding the bottom. Actually, we think that it is really big difference between two moments. First of all is to find the bottom, and second is to start rising. And between these two events, it might be really big time gap. It's just because to find the bottom is much easier, because when the market is hosting its capitalization potential for selling and dropping to some low levels, it doesn't mean that it starts rising immediately, because to turn the tendency you need to raise interest of the investors to the assets, and for that we need to changing the background, fundamental background in the economy, and that hardly will happen anytime soon. So that's why if market will find the bottom somewhere around 8-12 level, as we suggest, in a perspective of the 6-8 months probably, it doesn't mean that we will get the sharp reversal. So that's what about fundamental background. There you could find lots of details, some precise numbers and explanation why investors expect these numbers and what's going on in general in the market. You could read it in our blog site, so you could find it here. I will show you. If you will take a look at the blog, you can find some more in blog, and there you could see this article that you can see here. So now on the technical side, on the monthly chart is an interesting detail. Take a look. Today's last trading session of the June, and price right now stands below the important low, the important top. We said that if market will break it down and stay below it, it means that it could turn to a new trading range, which will be between 3 and 12 and 20. So that's very important might be. Well, of course, it's not some kind of the definite suggestion that it will happen just by the close price. We need to keep an eye on what will happen here. But in general, the closing below the previous lows, it might be important from the technical moment. On the weekly chart, you could see downside continuation of some pause on this drop. Market is not at the oversold, as we said. Market has no strong support areas and it's keep going lower. And we are mostly dealing with this ABCD pattern that suggests next target is 12.23. That's what we are watching within the few weeks or months even. The market should reach it. Finally, in the shorter term, on the daily chart, we see the breaking of the pennant to the downside that we discussed, as we suggested, while we actually explained why we are not obfuscating with the taking any long position on the Bitcoin market, because we do not see the shifts in the fundamental background. And market wasn't even to reach our predefined 24 resistance on the lower time frame to let us to take a more or less acceptable short position here and start dropping immediately. And with this current performance, we suggest that we should be prepared for taking of these lows. Maybe not this week, but in the next week this probably will happen. Because if you take a look at the recent statistics that we've got on the gross domestic product, inflation is greater. That suggests more rate hike from the Fed. Gross domestic product is negative, as we suggested. But more important is take a look that sales and consumption has dropped 2 times. This is drastically different from the things that Jerome Powell tells when he argued that economy is very strong. So actually he said the consumption is strong, unemployment is low. So I would ask, if we have low unemployment and strong consumption, why we have negative gross domestic product? So that's totally agrees with our suggestion and our long-term view on the United States economy, fundamental background that we discuss regularly in our weekly reports on the Forex market, on the gold market. So that's absolutely not surprising. And that just tells you that we have the bearish context in the long term, and it tells us that we should not expect any changes on the trend anytime soon. So finally on the 4-hour time frame chart, you could see that head and shoulders is failing, market's dropping back below the right arm, and that is a clear signal that head and shoulders is failing. So there will be no upward continuation, and currently you could think about taking new short position with anticipating on the breakout of these lows.